Good Tuesday morning. Good Tuesday. Good to have you with us. Unless, of course, you're watching this on a replay, and then it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Could be Monday. Who knows when. But live right now across the network and across social media, it is the morning break. I am Rob Patz. It is good to have you here with us. It's going to be another good day. Dr. Trudy's with us. We have a question to ask Dr. Trudy. By the way, you can do that. It's super easy. And we're now seeing questions all the time. Just go to our Connect in the app, and it says Connect with us. Ask Dr. Trudy. Put in the subject, though, Ask Dr. Trudy. Now, I do read all of the messages we get through the app, but reality is it's good if you put on there in the subject line, Ask Dr. Trudy. That's to come. Man, it is already, it's crazy to think it's already June 2nd. I was talking with Kristen about this, and we're talking about how fast this year has seemed to really just go by, like super fast. We're already planning stuff for the holidays for this fall and winter. So if you're in Michigan, Ohio, or Indiana, look for some cool stuff coming up with Kristen and I this holiday season, probably around Thanksgiving and stuff. If you are out at churches that have us, which we always appreciate, the great churches. And if your church is looking for somebody, I would love to come and speak at your church, sing. Kristen sings, I do not. And that's kind of the idea of the Christmas thing. Kristen has now written, and we did it at a church in Indiana, and it's a Christmas type program. It is very cool. I'm proactive now. I'm not singing, thankfully, but I am a part of it, and it makes it really cool. And she brings her piano. It is amazing. Again, I want to give a shout out, by the way, last weekend, and I didn't do this yesterday, but we were part of an event called the Michigan Gospel Music Showcase. That was super fun. Kristen did a great job. We got to see some great friends. It was at an amazing church in Ypsilanti. And it's just always fun to do. Always, always great. By the way, talking about church made me hungry already. Because that's what we do as pastors' kids, as we go to church to eat. Today is National Rotisserie Chicken Day. Now, here's the deal. I think, and I'm not a health expert, but I think rotisserie chicken's okay if you peel the skin off. But the skin's kind of the best part, to be honest with you. I don't know how you feel about that, but yeah, that's kind of one of those things. Hey, listen, I got a note from the folks at 7 Weeks Coffee, and they are allowing me to talk about something. So we're going to talk about it really quick. They've got a new blend. It's called the Haitian Blend Coffee. Of course, beans obviously grown in Haiti. This is a very limited time thing, and if you know how much I love coffee, I was super excited. Haven't ordered it yet because I just found out about it this morning. Like, actually, goodness, like 20 minutes ago. But you can go to their website and order it. Here's the thing I would do. I'd order a variety pack. I'd include that as one of your 4. Now, this is very limited, and they don't know when they'll have it back again. So jump on over to 7weekscoffee.com. That's 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order. Grab some Haitian coffee blend. They say it's amazing. It's not too heavy, but I have to tell you, I'm kind of into the dark, heavy roast stuff. Now, our looking cam for my-snackies looking cam is again to Asheville, North Carolina. Of course, if you follow us on social media, that Kristen and I spent 4 days. It was technically 5, but the 5th day was kind of just travel day. So we spent 4 days in Asheville. Great area. Biltmore was amazing. I talked about this last week, but here's the thing. Again, it's one of those things that I would love to go back and spend more time. Here we go. We're swinging around. That is actually right there, center shot right now. Whoops. No, they're going all the way around. Anyway, that whole building, that was the hotel we stayed at, the Hotel Kingston. Downtown is super walkable. I will tell you this. I don't know if I'd do it if I had kids. We had a great time, had fun going there. Check out the video on the Robin Kristen Show YouTube channel, which we launched when we went. You can see the drum circle, all kinds of cool stuff we did. Our search for art, which is something that we do, as you probably now know. If you follow us, that we do every town that we go to and travel to. We grab some local art, and it's a cool story. And one of these shows, I'll put it up because we have a picture of it. We got a watercolor from a lady who in 1989 immigrated from Russia with her family. Super cool story, beautiful scene of downtown that she painted. And it's just like one of those things that we dig doing. We love being able to support local artists. And so if that's kind of what you're into, stuff like that, as far as like art scene and stuff, super cool. The art scene in Asheville was amazing. I would say that we went into, and I'd have to talk to Kristen about this, but I would say, rough guess, we went into 20 galleries while we were there. Amazing art, amazing stuff going on in Asheville, North Carolina. Stay at the Kimpton if you're going to go. Next time we do it, we're going to go stay out at the Biltmore. That is our plan, just because we want to go and just kind of hang out there and be there for that. Anyway, when we come back, you know what time it is. It's time for Dr. Trudy. We're going to talk to her, all kinds of stuff to talk about. We'll do that after this.
Behind every precious life, there was a choice. Behind every family moment, behind every special memory, there was a choice. A life of joy. A life that is beautifully and wonderfully made. At 7 Weeks Coffee, we are funding the pro-life movement, one cup at a time. Will you let your coffee serve a greater purpose?
Remember the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee, 7weekscoffee.com. That's 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 for that. Also today, by the way, besides Rotisserie Chicken Day, it is Volkswagen. It's Volkswagen Bus Day, not the Beetle Day. That's a different day, but today is Volkswagen Bus Day. Those are cool. I mean, seriously. Those are just super cool. Give me a whole California vibe. Just so much fun. And time now, though, for one of our favorite features here on the morning break. It is time for Dr. Trudy to be with us. Dr. Trudy,
Hi.
question before we get to the question.
Yeah.
Rotisserie chicken. If we take the skin off, is it okay to eat rotisserie chicken?
I think so, yes.
But you have to take the skin off, don't you?
You have to take the skin off. Yeah, you have to take the skin off.
The skin is my favorite part.
It smells so good, especially when it's freshly cooked. But yeah, you can't really eat this. I mean, you could eat the skin, but I wouldn't recommend it.
It's not good for you.
It's not.
It's sad because why is it? And this is my question, and I asked somebody else this last week. We went through graduations. So two of my nieces graduated, had their graduation parties. They'd already graduated, but had graduation parties last week. Why is it that good things that taste good to us are not good for us, but things that I really don't like the taste of are good for us? Like, I mean, I don't go, ooh, give me some more broccoli, but I do say, ooh, give me some more cake.
You know, you think we could trick our mind or train our mind differently? You know, to say, because I do, honestly, I love broccoli and I love Brussels sprouts, and I could eat those like nonstop, but I can't really eat a lot of cake. I think I've kind of trained myself, like that sugar overload just does not do well with me. And it could be psychological, the way we kind of train our thinking and our minds. Because at one point, yeah, I remember, Rob, when I was little, all I ate was Hostess Twinkies and like those ding dong things. And I can't remember what else. But then once I said, you know what, I'm going to change my diet because I was overweight, those things just stopped tasting good to me. So I don't know. I think it's a mindset more of anything else.
And I'll agree with you. We've cut down on sugar, and you taste the sugar so much more once you've cut down. Like that first piece of cake. So funny thing. So this was my Saturday. We had our Bible study. Kristen and I launched a Bible study here in Defiance. And one of our people there in our Bible study had a birthday. So we brought a cake. So I had cake in the morning, breakfast of champions.
That's right.
That was the first thing I'd eaten all day. And then we went from there to Isabella's graduation party. I had cake there. It was good. It was good cake. And then I mentioned it in the open. Kristen and I were at an event, and one of the people there brought, because they know I love Texas sheet cake, brought me some Texas sheet cake. So I had cake 3 times on Saturday. I had then Sunday, Sophia, my other niece, had her graduation party. And of course, she had cake. And of course, I love cake. So I participated again on Sunday. So in a 24-hour period, I figured out I'd had 4 servings of cake.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And
what's your favorite cake? Do you have a favorite?
Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake is my favorite. Of course, when you're a kid, your mom makes you get the white frosting so she can decorate the whole, because chocolate frosting doesn't look good.
Right.
But my favorite, and Costco actually has my favorite, though they've cut it way down. It used to be really tall, is their deep dark chocolate cake. That was my favorite. In fact, as I transitioned to an adult, I lived in Seattle, so my mom would ask me, and that's the kind of cake I'd want. So she was always disappointed because she'd like to have them decorated. And I was like, Mom, this is my favorite cake. So dark chocolate cake. If you've never had it, though, they've made it itty bitty now at Costco. It used to be like this tall. Yeah. And now it's like, it used to be like 7 layers. It wasn't 7, but it was big, tall layers.
Right.
And now it's like, I'm like, that's so disappointing. Also good there, just for if you're going there this weekend, their tuxedo cake, and it's back. The tuxedo cake is, not good for you, but you can go, and according to Dr. Trudy, we can go get a rotisserie chicken there, which are dirt cheap. I still don't know how they make anything on those. But you can do that and then peel the skin off of it, have that with some turnips and broccoli. How are sweet potatoes? I was going to ask you this. How are sweet potatoes?
I think sweet potatoes are good. A lot of carbs, but they're good for you. I mean, sweet potatoes are good for you. But back to the cake, Rob. Whenever I'm talking to clients and coaching them through things, I always tell them, it's okay to have the sweets. It's okay to have those cheat days. It's okay to not, it's everything in moderation, right? And so you want to have some sort of balance going on. And, if you want the cake, eat the cake. And so, but just don't overindulge, especially those who struggle with, overeating and overindulging. And so just be mindful. But yeah, the rotisserie chicken, have that. We get it sometimes, and then we put it in our Cuisinart, I think, and we dice it and make chicken salad with it. And it's so good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We tear it apart and we have it on salads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so we do that, which my wife is so proud of me. I've now started eating salads because I used to eat like a 6th grader. And so I've matured into like an 8th or 9th grader. There's a lot of stuff I still don't like. For me, and it's about talking about overeating. So my schedule was so chaotic for a lot of my life. And this sounds terrible, but it's true. You would eat wherever you could, right, because you didn't know when you were going to eat again. Like there would be travel days where I'd go, ooh, I better eat now because I realize I'm going to do a 6-hour flight. And then I've got 5 hours of meetings. So I better eat now. So sometimes you overeat in those moments
Right.
because you think you're like, front loading so you're not hungry, not realizing that really does not work. Just so you know, you're still
It's like
hungry.
it's this starvation triggers. I've got to
Yes.
eat now because I'm not going to eat later, so I'm just going to overindulge, and then you're going to feel really bad, and then 6 hours later, you're going to be hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, completely. I agree with that. And I think traveling for me has always been tough because it is hard to find healthy options everywhere. I mean,
It's getting easier, but for a long time it was hard.
Yeah, it is.
It's more expensive to eat healthier.
Oh, completely. Oh,
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. That hands down. That is probably and I always, that's why I hesitate. Like when I tell people stuff, I'm like, it does. I mean, there are things that I now eat. So we had this discussion last night, Kristen and I. There are certain supplements that we take, and everybody's on a different, and I am not a medical doctor, so talk to your own doctor and do this. But there are supplements that we take, and we were talking about yesterday. My supplements run right now about $7 a day. So it's about $210 a month. And I said, that's a lot of money. But Kristen then reminded me that it's healthier to do that than not do that and then go to the doctor. So
Right.
It's one of those things, but it is like, so I got to tell you something. And I don't know if we ever talked about this when we were doing the Daniel fast. And I will tell you something that I really loved. My wife got kale and then put it in, what are they called? Just totally, the thing with the basket, you put it in, it cooks it. Oh gosh. Huh?
Like, does she bake it in the oven or
Yeah.
does she? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So good.
Thank you. Oven.
Kale is so good.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
I was trying to think. It's like you put it in there in my brain. But no, in the oven, she put it in, and it is incredible. Little olive oil. That was all she put on it. And like, that's a treat. I ate that like a treat. And I think partially what we're, and kind of, this was not our topic for today, but I think it's partially changing your taste buds.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the toughest part for me because I like certain things. I grew up with them. And now it's like tough to change, but I do. I like kale come out of the oven. I don't like it when it's super. It has to cool a little bit, and then it crisps up a little bit even more. And that's just kind of good. You just put it in your mouth, and you get green stuff in your teeth. And you're always going, doing like that, and you're like, and my wife did it for lunch, and it was funny because I had to go to a meeting, and I'm walking to the bathroom. It was at a coffee shop, and I got green stuff like all over. I'm like, really, Rob? How did you miss all of that? Anyway, so hey, it's time for the Ask Dr. Trudy question of this episode, and we have several. So Dr. Trudy's going to be with us a couple times this month more. So we have plenty. So if your question doesn't get answered or asked in this segment, you got a couple more times. And if you do, like we said, want to connect, remember to put in the subject line, Ask Dr. Trudy. So this is the question, and I'm condensing it because it was a fairly long note. This lady, they've been married for a while, and she does not feel like at times her husband hears her when they're making big decisions. So she is asking you, how does she make sure that her husband hears her in the midst of these big decisions?
Well, Rob, I think we kind of talked about this before, but it's making sure, I think, like I do with my husband, when he has his phone, I say, hey, finish up what you're doing. I want to have a discussion. And so first making sure we get our spouse's attention, right? I don't know if I told you this, but when Brian and I used to teach, we led a marriage ministry for years. One of the classes we taught was on conflict resolution, which was one of the most participated classes that we offered throughout the year, because people just don't know how to have healthy confrontation or healthy arguments or whatever you want to call it. But because we argue differently, we learn from our past, we learn from our parents. But number one, I think, is making sure you get your spouse's attention. Okay, I really would like to talk to you. It's really important. And then the best thing when you're learning how to communicate is the speaker listener technique, which I know is so crazy. We've talked about it before, but I'm going to talk to you. And what I want you to do, and I do this in the counseling sessions, and it feels awkward at first, but the person who's talking holds a pen or whatever, and they talk, and then they hand the pen or the pencil to their spouse, and the spouse repeats back to them, I hear you saying this. And that way the spouse that just, spoke knows, okay, they actually heard me. Because a lot of times, Rob, again, we listen to respond, we don't listen to hear. And so we want to train ourselves to listen to actually hear. And it's always nice, Rob, I hear you saying this, that you had 4 pieces of chocolate cake last weekend and that's all you ate. That's what I hear you say. Now, you would come back and say either, yes, that's exactly what I said, or no, it's not what I said. But it's an art. Communication, especially with conflict and big decisions, is an art, because in our own right, we're kind of selfish people, aren't we? And we want our way, and we want it when we want it and how we want it. But when you're part of a team, you want what's beneficial for the other person more than you want what's beneficial for you. Does that make sense?
I think that's awesome. And so to the person that says, well, that's great, Dr. Trudy, but then how do I think of my answer? So when do I think of my answer, or how, because I want to get my answer in, because if I'm holding a pen and then I'm repeating back, I don't get my answer in. So how do you?
So this is how it goes. So I give you the pen and you repeat back what you heard me say. And then you give me the pen back and I say, that's what I meant, or that's not what I meant. Because if you're listening to respond versus listening to hear, then you haven't heard what I said. And so you go back and forth until the person holding the pen really understands that, okay, Rob, you actually heard what I have to say. You actually heard what's on my heart. So once that's done, then the other person can say, okay, now this is how I want to respond, and this is what I want to say. And then it kind of goes back and forth. And, it doesn't have to always be that rigid, but once you kind of get the hang of it and you know that your partner is listening to really hear and understand versus I want to get my words in, it gets a lot easier.
And is I want to get my words in kind of just something I think it builds up over time, because as kids, we're like, we want to be heard. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if that's kind of where it comes from. Like we start young going, hey, listen, I want or if you're like me, you have this zippy response that, you want to get in before it moves on off. See, that's my biggest problem is like, there are times where I want to get, and it's not just with my wife. It's like, I'm so excited to say what I'm going to say. That I forget that I'm not listening. And Kristen knows, she's really good at it. She'll then tilt me back to wherever we were going, because I have this zippy little statement that I like to get in, something funny usually. In fact, so Bible study, I'll tell you a thing in our situation. So we do the Bible study together, and it was this past Saturday, I was on a roll. I was really funny. And even Kristen said that. She goes, it was really funny. But then God kind of like 10 minutes in, just like, you need to be quiet. And she did an amazing job. She taught. And so I think sometimes we have to, as spouses and as, in relationships especially, learn when to be be Mm-hmm. And that's hard for me. If you know me at all, I have a hard time being quiet.
What does scripture say? Be slow to speak.
Yeah, no, I'm not good at that one. That's one verse I never read.
I know, but I just think like in marriage, I mean, especially when it's the heat of discussion and you're really, debating and you're really upset and you're really angry, it is good to take some steps back and just kind of breathe and hit the reset button, because if we're not careful, we're going to say things we don't mean, and we're going to have to backpedal. And once something's really out of your mouth, it can't really go back in. And so it's just being mindful of the situation and being, I think, again, quick to listen, slow to speak, because it is true. We want to be heard. We want to be seen. We want to be valued. And, when you think about when you're dating, how did you handle it? Like, we should always be dating our spouses. We should always be learning about our spouses, getting a PhD in our spouse. But somewhere along the way, we stop, and we stop wooing our spouse. We stop dating our spouse. We stop being intentional. And somewhere it becomes two ships passing in the night. We become selfish, and we're not being intentional in really, listening to hear versus listening to respond. And it just takes time.
And I think that's so important what you just said. And that my dad, that was one of the things that he, as a counselor, he would say is, and that he told me, he passed away before I ever married Kristen. I was dating at the time. And he said, because I asked him, because my mom and dad, they adored each other. It was a great relationship. I grew up in like the home that everybody wished. My friends would come over and go, I wish my mom and dad were like your mom and dad. But my dad's big thing was what you just said, is date constantly. Mm-hmm. That dating doesn't just stop once you're married. And I think that's the biggest key thing. And during those times, that's when you say, and maybe for this lady that we had today that we did the question about, maybe during one of those times where they're out together, because she didn't fill in all the details, but I'm guessing they have kids, because she said that, when they talk, it's usually late at night and stuff. But maybe they take a time where they go out for dinner together, and that's where they communicate at a better level.
Right. I agree with you, because timing is important. Like if Brian tries to have a conversation with me about something really important at 9:00 at night, it's just not going to go well. I'm like, we got to talk about it, in the morning, or, so timing, I think, is very perfect, because I like to go to bed and I'm shutting down at 7:30, 8:00, but I'm up at 3:30 in the morning. So, but thankfully he and I both are morning people. So that's when we do it, or date night. But just timing, I think is you're right, is so important.
It is. Hey, Dr. Trudy, have them. Here's the thing. Give them your website really quick.
My website. Oh, it's Trudy. I forgot my website, Rob. It's TrudySimmons.com.
There you go. By the way, you can always ask Dr. Trudy on the app. Ask Dr. Trudy. I can also send you her website because I caught her off guard. Dr. Trudy, till next time, we will see you again. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Anyway, wow, where did the time go? It goes by way too fast. Another fun edition of the show. And I want to tell you again how much we appreciate you watching every day. I think of that. I was thinking about this morning, that out of your day, and I don't mean to get really emotional here, but out of your day, you take time to be with us here on Abundant TV and on the Morning Break. And I appreciate you for that. And remember to hit up Ask Dr. Trudy on the app. Just go to the Connect and put in the subject, Ask Dr. Trudy. Another great show tomorrow. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been The Morning Break.